Now let's go over the medical benefits. We essentially have two plans to pick from. We have the PPO and the HSA, the Health Savings Account, that we went over on the last slide. It's very important that you see that the PPO has two columns, an in and out of network column, and the HSA has two columns, an in and out of network column. You really have to be careful to stay in network. You essentially don't want to go out of network if you don't have to. The one thing is I'd really like you to avoid going out of network by mistake. If it's a planned out of network, that would be a much better scenario. But it'll also take probably a big catastrophic illness or accident to be out of network. So we're really going to go along this first column where it says PPO in network and the HSA qualified plan in network. The out of network, the easiest way I can explain in network is to go to the Anthem website. This is www.anthem.com, and as we are navigating this website, we're going to go to find a doctor and we'll hit go, and then it'll bring us to the search screen, and we can search Colorado. If you're outside of Colorado, then we would search the National Blue Card Directory. So for now we will search Colorado and we'll go to next. Then it's going to ask us to select a plan. Let's select the PPO plan, and then we want to look for physicians. We could look for hospitals and other providers, but I'd like to look for physicians. And then let's search for family practice, general practice, internal medicine. As we go to next, it's going to ask us to narrow down our search a little bit, since we just typed in Colorado, and let's just type in a zip code. Let's see, we'll type in Denver. And then for our zip code, let's do 80301, and then we'll just say 20 miles. We can narrow it down to 10 miles and view results. Okay, gives us a couple disclaimers there, and then it gives us 150 providers met the criteria we selected. So within 10 miles of that zip code, I have 150 family practice, general practice, internal medicine doctors. So it's very important you go to this website if you're going to change doctors or go see a specialist or maybe go to a new hospital or surgery center, to look at this website first. This is the in-network. Okay, so as we were looking at in-network, out-of-network. What I just showed you was in-network. So if the provider is in here, then that's in-network. So just to go back again, because I felt that was pretty important to go back to find a doctor. And then if you're outside of Colorado, you'll search the National Blue Card Directory. And you'll follow the same steps. Now, one thing we'll give you is members versus guests. I just search as a guest. It's easier. You don't have to know your prefix, your identification card prefix. And then it's going to be the same steps. All right. So outside of Colorado, you would do that. Now, it's also important to know that you should ask your providers, are they in network? Because sometimes they could have fell out of the website. It could be a timing issue where you want to ask every single one of your provider. If you have a planned surgery, you also want to ask who else is going to see me. A typical example is a maternity claim. Being pregnant and going through the maternity process, pregnancy process, your OBGYN is in network, and you checked the hospital to make sure that they're in network. But what about the anesthesiologist that would see you that day? Excuse me, the anesthesiologist. So those are things that you have to be aware of and call ahead to the hospital and make sure that the anesthesiologist is in network. There is an acronym, and I call it the RAPL, R-A-P-E-L, and RAPL stands for Radiologist, Anesthesiologist, Pathologist, Emergency Room Doctor, and Lab. So when you're looking at RAPL, you want to see, are any of those other specialists going to treat me that day? For the maternity, I use the A in RAPL, the anesthesiologist. You really have to be aware of that. Some employees that I've talked to get a separate bill for out-of-network. So let's say that anesthesiologist for that same maternity claim was out-of-network. You'll get a separate bill that won't fall under the in-network. So financially, it's wise to make sure you check that everybody's in-network, and that's the PPO column. I spent a little time on that, but I think that's very important. So as we navigate through the benefits, you're going to see that the PPO has really three main elements to it. You have a doctor's office visit, which is right here under the $20 copay for primary and $40 copay for specialists. You know, specialists are cardiologists, anesthesiologists, those type of things. Dermatologists. Then you have a second element, which is your deductible for hospitals. Under the PPO, you have a $750 deductible for if you get into hospitals type situations. Okay, everything that says 80% after the deductible. Then on top of that, you have coinsurance. So you have a $750 deductible, and then you owe 20%. So you'll see as you scroll down that some of these, and again taking the inpatient hospital in mind, 80% covered by insurance after the deductible. Well, the insurance is going to pay 80, and